Hey, Roland here.
Hey, this is Eldgrim.
This is episode 2 of the Viking Axe and Shield. And today we want to talk about hooking, but specifically to knock the guy off balance, like under the knee or behind the ankle. Also, if this was a beaked axe, which we're not even going to get into that right now because this would be the same technique, I would just yank it into his leg as hard as I could if he had no protection there or inside the knee. A lot of times the back of the knee, if there was anything on the leg, which in the Viking era there usually wasn't much, it would go right into the knee joint and have this terrible wound. Or inside the leg, you know, I just hook it straight into the leg. Now yes, it's a piercing wound, it probably wouldn't be as devastating, but if you hooked it in and pulled it out, you'd still have a nice injury to that leg. The guy would have blood loss. It really depends on how bad, you know, the injury. And this could do this too when we're doing this, if this was a beaked or honed axe. You know, where you have the points on both ends. The layers, such as war axes that are lighter weight and broader headed, thinner. They're not really heavy. They're more for just cutting. But anyway, because you don't want a heavy axe for this kind of combat. You want something that responds a lot like a sword, but it has more mass at the front, so it gets slightly heavier blows against chains, stuff like that, maybe break a shoulder through it, so on. But today we're going to specifically work on the hooking of the leg and the knee and see what we can do with that. Now there's two different methods of doing this. If I'm squaring off with him, if I can get into the top leg, the knee, I can hook the knee. And you'll see this in some of the old manuals where they actually hook the knee and pick up the knee. But obviously, if his weight's on the front leg, it's going to be harder to do, but you can do it with the pressing of the weight of the body. So let's say he tries to tap high, and I catch it. Basically, are you all right? Yeah. What I did is I pulled his leg, pulling him off balance as I pressed it. And that was a press with the whole body against the shield. And that knocked him down. So that means after that I would continue to pummel him senselessly if he wasn't able to recover with his left. This is also a good time if he were to do a roll, possibly roll over, that he might be able to recover somehow. But today we're more concerned with the actual throwing technique. It can also be done if I reach lower to the ankle where he's coming in. I don't know if y'all noticed it, but I just threw him off balance and pushed him over. Does it feel like it's hard to resist if somebody does
yeah. You're able to press with the shield and push you right over.
Yeah, I'm using my body against his, and it's a simple physics. I'm getting slightly lower than him, pushing up on his body and pulling his leg. And notice that worked when I caught him here, whether the shield's in the way or not. And it also works on the front. Now, would it work on the back leg? That's what we need to see. Like if you're moving in, you're going to move your shield around. Let's say he attacks over here. What I did is I pulled his leg up as I was pressing that way, which he's off balance that direction. So yes, this technique will work, but like I said, if you have a sharp axe where it's sharp on the beard, on the back, depending on what he's wearing on his legs and how sharp and protruded it is, this could also cause a terrible injury. These aren't just like hooking, you know, possibly to the back of the heel it wouldn't, but these things are something to be very careful with and cautious if you're training with them. Make sure your training partner can fall properly. You know, because if he can't, then there's a good chance he's going to get injured in the process. Yeah. But this technique can work. I mean, as you just saw, it could work out pretty well for you.
That's a pretty sweet technique.
Do you like it? Or?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I don't like being on the other end of it, but
yeah.
You know, it's crafty and it's cunning. I like it.
Right, but if you possibly rolled, I don't know. I'm just curious to see what would happen here. Give me the thing, and all you're going to do is hook my front leg and your press against you when I try to attack.
All right. Not bad, bro.
It was possible to roll with the shield and recover from that. So yeah, if the guy knew what you were up to and he knows how to roll, you could roll with the shield possibly and still get up in some kind of defensive position. That's what I was curious about. Yeah. There are times when tactically tumbling out of the way or something when you get knocked down is a good thing. I'm sorry, some people would say that it's not, but you don't want to just roll into combat or something. That's silly. You know, just roll to do it. But if somebody's throwing you, chances are they're doing something to throw you, and you fall. If you can come up, come up. Don't stay down by any means. I don't care if you kip up, as long as you're not kipping up into a sword thrust, you're doing something different.
Right.
Oh, you did that in the other video.
Yeah.
But anyway, this was episode 3. We were just going over a simple technique of hooking the leg and using the body to press the person to throw them off balance. I think it works really well.
Yeah. pretty sweet, man.